Guys, I am so excited today to share with you something that I've been working on for a couple of months. And we're going to hit all of the normal stuff that we do as part of Across the Hobby. Don't worry about that. But at the beginning of today's show, I want to give you a very brief, exclusive sneak peek into something that's not only going to drive content for the next couple of months, but something that you will be driving, something that you will be in charge of, something that I think you will love considering if you are, especially if you are somebody who isn't a sports card specialist, but is somebody who thinks about the whole of the hobby. I promise you this is something that has the potential to be very interesting and exciting for you over the course of the next couple of months. So without further ado, I'm going to spend a few minutes this morning on the 25 in 25 survey, which will then lead to the 25 in 25 countdown. The 25 in 25 survey, the most iconic sports cards of the 21st century. So we're going to just take just a second to look through this. I'm going to give myself a 2-minute timer, and let's do this. So let's first read what the definition of iconic is. Being iconic means being widely recognized and admired, often symbolizing a particular era, group, or concept. It signifies a person or thing that is influential, representative, and revered. The purpose of this project is basically to crowdsource what you believe are the most iconic 25 cards ranked in order over the first 25 years of this century. People have said to me, well, are you going to have cards that are before this century? Obviously not. This project is about this century. As it says in the next line, we're on a mission to create a ranked list of the 25 most iconic sports cards of the century. Please review all instructions before your ballot. And if you know when you do this, and you'll have the chance to do this, this goes live tomorrow. Today is Monday, May 26th. On May 27th, this survey will be live, and you are invited to participate. You are somebody who's in the hobby, and your opinion matters on this. And so again, remember, this is not a ballot about best cards. This is a ballot about iconic cards. So your job is to go through here and to rank them. And I'm not going to try to sway what you write on here at all. But what I do want to show you briefly is the survey. So in this survey, you are going to see, at the beginning, you're going to see 30 baseball cards, beginning with the Pujols, Bowman, and Bowman Chrome. And we're going to go through this. But as I say that, let me just point out, you'll notice in some cases there's a picture of one card, and then there's a picture sometimes of multiple cards. And that's because of this line right up here. If a card is a parallel or a variation of another card, then all are grouped within one spot. Not all parallels or variations are necessarily found within each square. So the assumption that we've made as far as doing this is that each kind of card, each image, each card with the individual number on the back, those cards are all grouped together. So like for these Ichiros, 3 cards in one. For this Ichiro Pujols, 3 cards in one. For this Clayton Kershaw, many cards in one. And so we go through, we've got all the baseball cards here at the first. I think there's 30 baseball cards. And then we get down to 2000, to the early basketball cards. The first card from the century that made the list for basketball is a card from 2003. And interestingly, it looks like 8 cards from 2003 that made the ballot. And then you go through and the rest of the basketball cards. And then you get to the football, hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, WNBA, even wrestling, and UFC. So after you fill out this information and you hit submit, that will come to me and my group, and we will then be able to take all of those lists and we'll be able to average them together. And after 2 weeks of doing that, and hopefully hundreds, maybe thousands of responses, the final list will be generated, and gem rate is part of that. We'll also be calculating to ensure that we end up with the same number, the same countdown. And when we agree on the countdown, then I will begin counting the cards down from number 25 all the way down to number 1, as you've seen me do on several countdowns before. So that is what we're doing. That's what the 25 in 25 survey and the 25 in 25 countdown are all about. Thank you for checking that out. More to come on that later. But that's all I have on that. Now let's jump into our normal Across the Hobby routine. So let's start out with some big sales from last week. Last week, these two Caitlin Clark cards were definitely part of the, like, really stole the show in terms of the conversation. So I made this post right after these auctions ended. These both ended on Thursday. And if you read my caption, you can say, for tonight at least, it seems there is a clear preference in the Caitlin Clark Prism debate. And I said that. A lot of people didn't like that. They stopped reading there and they wrote, these cards aren't the same grade. My very next line, or my very next line said, tonight the number 22 in a PSA 9 sold for more than 2x of what the PSA did. And then I followed that up by saying some amount of that difference might be ascribed to the difference in grade, to be sure, but I would argue that it is a clear indicator that at least on this night, the bidders preferred the number 22. My face in the way. Sorry about that. That's what it says right there in that little caption. $63,833 for the PSA 9 number 22. $29,700 for the PSA 8 number 145. Does that show a clear, at least on this night, as I said, does that not show a clear preference for the number 22? I believe it does. Some people are willing to say, no, the difference between an 8 and 9 could be this great. I don't think so. It doesn't pass my smell test. Especially on cards that are serial numbered at 10, where getting the card is the main thing. I think the difference between an 8 and a 9 is not that great. I do think that some amount of the difference can be ascribed to that, as I said, but not all of it. There's a comment down in here that I thought was really good, really, really strong. It was this right here by Flagship Black. He says, in baseball, the first card is in the set is the true rookie. That has been the same in basketball for the most part as well. I am not sure how that translates for basketball, though. I would always prefer action over portrait. That, I think a lot of people would say in general, until you actually look at these two cards. And I think a lot of people, including myself, really like the portrait, both because it just looks nicer. It's just a better picture of her, but also because it looks more like Prism cards normally do. Our friend Spinatron pointed out that most Prism cards look more like the card on the right than the card on the left, especially for rookie cards. Most of the time, and this is where it gets interesting, most of the time a 9 is between 25% to 50% more than a PSA 8. So I would put the number 145 at around 45 grand if it were graded a 9. Therefore, I believe the hobby has chosen. First card in the set is the true rookie card, or they just prefer action over portrait. I agree. I think I don't know how close it would be if they were the exact same, and we're definitely going to see instances where it flip-flops. But on this, the same night, the same version of the card or the same parallels being sold, thought it was really interesting and thought you guys might be interested to see that. All right, now let's look at these two Kobe Bryant cards that sold. I posted this way back on May 13th, so it's been almost 2 weeks. This is right after the auction went live, and when I saw both those pop up, I thought this is really an interesting one to look at. And if you look through the comments here, you're going to see a lot of people chose the limited logos. Some people, like Kenny Sports Cards right here, wrote 2000 patch auto number 8 all the way. A lot of people liked that comment. Looks like 10 people liked that. Hard to sell out. Carvin's UD Exquisite. The eye appeal and modern opulence is next level. Mr. FOCH said that. And what's interesting is Mr. Foch, he talked about how he actually ended up winning this card that's numbered out of 8. So he saw both of them, but from an aesthetics perspective, it is really tough to beat the limited logos. Lots of good comments from everybody on here. I thought this was an interesting comparison because they're both early Kobe autograph patches. As I've acknowledged many times in the past, I own a copy of the one on the left, and I own a different variation of the one on the right, the point card. So I like both these cards a lot. But I was really interested to see how well they do. And if we look, you know what? I didn't end up pulling it up after all. If we look at the actual sales on these two cards, in fact, we'll go do that real quick with this link right here. We'll just type in Kobe Auto Patch, and I think that should get there relatively quickly. So you can see the out of 8 sold for 186,000 and the limited logo sold for 72,000. Two great elite autograph patches of Kobe Bryant, but the out of 8 sold for so much more. And I would attribute that to how much rarer it is and how much more significant it is in terms of the whole of the hobby. Kobe's very first year of autograph patches is 2000. That's the first year that they made autograph patches. And so there were only 3 of them, which means that there were 24 total, something that I've talked about now in several different places. I think that's cool. I think that when you find out, wow, Kobe's first year of autograph patches, they only made 24, and 24 just happened to be his jersey number for a good portion of his career, for the majority of his career. I think a lot of people appreciate that. I know I do. And so it's interesting to see that one sell for that much more than the exquisite, but also not incredibly surprising. I know the 8 of 8 of this card sold for a ton of money back in the day, an absolute ton. Like, I think like close to 300 grand it sold for. Okay. The next story of the night was Logo Men. You can see I showed off this KG Paul Pierce last week. The Logo Man cards from this auction really stole the show in terms of what they were priced at. The Cade Cunningham, Evan Mobley duel from the rookie year sold for 36 grand. These 3 right here, people were really focused on. The Vince Carter and the Tracy McGrady, both from 06, both not their first Logo Men autos, but significant single Logo Men autos, sold for 60,000 and 87,000. Reminder on both of those, the exquisite never made single Logo Men autos. People will always talk about how Ultimate Collection's a secondary product. They're welcome to do that if they want to, but that does not make any sense when you're referring to single Logo Men autos. Ultimate is the product that made single Logo Men autos, the best known one. There are a few that were made at the very beginning that I'm very fond of from the regular Upper Deck set, but that's one set. After that, if you want a single Logo Men auto, if you think that's the card that you want for your player, you're looking at Ultimate Collection for the most part. And so for Vince Carter, there's a few. For Tracy McGrady, I know there's at least one that came before this. I said I think there's more than one. I think there's one before this for Vince, but I'm not 100% sure. In any case, these are for T-Mac, this is definitely not his first. And for Vince, I'm not sure. Vince sold for 60 and T-Mac sold for 87,000. And again, I think you have to ask the question, if you were a collector of either of those players, which card would you, or what card would you rather have than that card? And I think on tonight, or on the night where these sold, the question might be, or the answer to that might be, well, I don't think there's anything more expensive. I think that there's a lot of people who see a single Logo Men autograph is basically the best card of a player. And that may even include rookies and stuff. Like, does T-Mac have a rookie that outsells that? He might, because he has a PMG green. He also has the very first the very first masterpieces were made his rookie year. For Vince Carter, does he have a rookie in 1998 worth more than this? Maybe a 1 of 1. Maybe not. And then the duel here, 84,000. Check out this triple. The Wemby LeBron Jokic sold for almost 350. And Ginobili coming in with one of the biggest sales for him ever. I think the biggest Ginobili sale ever, almost $30,000. Really a lot of big numbers for Logo Men cards. Let's get out of some of this stuff that we don't need to be in here. All right. And then finally, these T-Macs. We already talked about the T-Mac Logo Men, but I posed the question last week. What would you rather have? One of his very first 1 of 1s or one of his first Logo Mens? And if you check out here, you're going to see that there were 3 Tracy McGrady's that sold at the premiere. A 1 of 1 from the same year as Ultra, but reminder, Ultra 1 of 1s, there's only 1. Showcase, there's 3 or 4, and in 98, there's 4 in 98. The Ultra sold for over twice as much. This was not surprising to me. What was surprising to me, I thought this Ultra with that purple background, I really thought it would compete closer with this Logo Men auto. I thought that the 1 of 1 masterpiece out of Ultra might win, especially with that Raptor uniform. Didn't come close. Less than half. I believe that this is because the market on ultra high end for McGrady is largely from Asia. This is because McGrady played alongside Yao for a long time. And so McGrady's generally loved in Asia. And in general, Asia loves the Logoman game used autos that are really rare a lot more than the US does. This is why you see a lot of flawless cards and eminence cards. A lot of that stuff ends up over in Asia. A lot of that stuff ends up on Card Hobby. So if you go to Card Hobby, you're going to see a lot of those types of cards, as you've noticed as we've looked through this in the past. So that's what I think happened here. That's why I think that Tracy McGrady is loved, but in Asia he's really loved. This might flip if it was a collector who was largely collected here in America. All right, that is it. Oh my goodness, did I get out of? No, I didn't. Okay, cool. So that is it for reviewing last week's stuff, last week's big sales. Let's talk this week about the cards, the big cards that are ending this week. We're going to start off this week with all of the big auctions that are happening at MC Sports Cards, which ends tonight. So if you're watching this today of production, today again is May 26th, Monday, all of these cards end tonight. And every Monday, MC has a ton of big stuff that ends. Let's take a look and see what we've got. So when you look at all of MC's items, if you look at the subheading here, you can see it says MC Monday, focus auction for blah, blah, blah. So these are all supposed to be $1,000 and over items on average. So we start out with a Marvin Harrison Jr., the rookie variation, gold prism card, number to 10, true gold, number 2 of 10, and a PSA 9 at $415. Jamar Chase, this is the Stars and Stripes. One thing that I've talked about a lot in the past is I think the Stars and Stripes aesthetically in person are some of the nicest of all of the NTRPAs, maybe the nicest. The way the blue and red and white really work with the acetate and the holofoil is really fantastic. The Steph Curry playoff contenders in a PSA 9 is an interesting card because it's actually one of his most recognizable Golden State Warrior uniform rookie autos. Steph's got other rookie autos. He doesn't have very many more that are more recognizable than this one. I would argue that if you put this card up against like the Exquisite rookie, which there are 2 of, I think this one's a nicer card. Contenders for basketball is nowhere near in the same world as Exquisite, but aesthetically and from the perspective of that giant autograph, and but most of all, the fact that he's wearing the Warriors uniform, I love this card. I love this card. It'd be an interesting one to check the gem rate combined pop on. I'd be interested to know how many of those there are because there's no, there's no serial number. In fact, we might do that. I'm going to click on that. We'll come back to that one. The Giannis full-size autograph, the Giannis silver and a PSA 10 out of Select. The LaMelo Ball out of 5 contenders autograph. Kobe out of 25. This is the green and gold from the first year of shiny cards for Panini. I love this card. PSA 10 on the regular finest refractor. It's card number 124 of Michael Jordan. LeBron's out of 49, purple and gold. And notice the MC right here highlights the Heat. I think they highlight the Heat here because LeBron's Heat era stuff, there just isn't very much of it. For those of you who know how I collect, I only have a couple of LeBron cards. They're both his Heat cards. That is his era that is the rarest, hardest to find, and it's the era from Panini that's the most interesting to me. I just don't think it's as known. This is a card that's just not as known. Really nice Dwayne Wade. If you check this one really close, I think you'll notice that it has die-cut edges. This one's a PSA 10. Ooh, Bill Russell PSA 10 on the Select Gold. Select Gold. I thought it was green for a second. That's a really beautiful card. It's an interesting one because Select Golds you probably don't think about too much. But from 2012, it's the first year. It's a great looking card. How many Bill Russells from this era would you rather have than that one in a PSA 10 as well? You'd rather have the Prism card. You can make it a case that this one's a nicer looking card, though. That's a great looking card. All right. Grant Hill, this is his finest collegiate best refractor. This is from the base set. It's like a subset from Grant's rookie year. This one's as high as it is because of that population. Pop 6 on the PSA 10. Shohei looks like a bat card. from 2013. I didn't even know Shohei had cards from 2013. So the story here, and it says memorabilia visitor jersey rookie. The story here is that, as people look at Shohei as like the face of baseball, which, spoiler alert, like he's massively the face of baseball. Guys like me who don't even watch baseball know who Shohei is and are interested in what he's doing. And that means something, right? I didn't ever feel that way even about Trout. I do feel that way about Shohei. And it's not just about last year, right? It started when we found out, hey, there's going to be this guy who's a great hitter and he's a great pitcher and hitter. And then it sort of has grown and grown. He's the face and name of the 21st century for baseball. And I think when you go look at the 25 and 25 survey, you're going to see him there more than any other baseball player. And that's why. But the question here obviously is how many cards does Shohei have before his traditional like Bowman Chrome and those rookies that came in 2018? What does he have before that? And how does that matter to collectors? Pop 3 Cal Ripken Jr. Oh, this is a big card. So this is the very first credentials in baseball. They made 299 of them. There's only 310s. For Ripken, one of the biggest names of the 90s, that's a huge card. The Jeter Select Certified, they didn't serial number these, but they're limited to 90. It's not the rarest version. There's a gold version made in 96, but the card says rookie right on the front. Some people say, that's not a rookie. He has other rookie cards. That's true, but remember at the time, Select is saying, hey, he's a rookie this year. They called it a rookie card. I think that the way that this is listed here is perfect. PSA 8 on that card. Roberto Clemente, PSA 8, Cons Wieners, baseball 6 higher vintage. Yeah, so the Cons Wieners cards began in the late 50s, and in some of these baseball sets, they really didn't make very many of them. Check the pop on that. It says 6 higher, so yeah, they're only 6 higher. This one's an 8. I'm actually surprised they're 6 higher. Be interesting to look at the whole of the report. And then you got a slew of 1966 Hans Wieners cards. Then one of the most interesting cards of the week for me at MC, this Victor Wembanyama. This is numbered to 3, and it's the Immaculate Rookie. Why this card stands out to me, I mean, obviously the 3 of 3 is really the story, but look at the image of Wemby on here. I'm not sure there's another image of Wemby from his rookie year that shows off sort of his freak size, right? Like that is an unusual specimen. That card sort of stops you in your track. At least it does to me. Steph 2023 impeccable autograph, 23 out of 25. Ooh, the LeBron James Monopoly Nebula, not numbered. Nebulas in the regular Prism are numbered 1 out of 1. Nebulas in Monopoly are not numbered. Is there one of these or more? A lot more probably, or more probably. I don't know how many more. I think I heard a rumor, but I'm not going to say the number because it's probably wrong. In any case, like do your research on a card like this, because how many times you get a chance to get a LeBron Prism Nebula? Not many. And that's why this one's as high as it is. Marvel's Michael Penix, the BAM's Shaq O'Neal out of 250. The Brandon Miller Snake Rookie. That is obviously a super short print card because it's as high as it is. So this one's also a PSA 10, but definitely do your research on how many of those are. Cole Emerson PSA 10. DePaula PSA 10 out of Bowman Chrome. Roman Anthony. And then we get to a Pop 71 Michael Jordan, the PSA 10 1993 All-Star card. I remember when this came out. It was right on the heels of the 92 set that was so popular. The 93 All-Star game here was here in Salt Lake. And so I remember this like it was yesterday. You can even see the Utah All-Star Weekend logo here in the bottom right. Me when I was a 10-year-old kid was here for that. I love that year, love that set. Out of a really low-end pack, they just don't have a lot of PSA 10s, centering problems. Great card. The white border, I always think of this as like the white border Michael Jordan star card. This is the PSA 7, 1985, last 11 Rookie of the Year set. And so Jordan was the most recent Rookie of the Year when this card came out. This one's at 1730. A PSA 7 on any original star Jordan is a big card. Stephen Kwan, Topps Chrome Sapphire Rookie. A PSA 10, Ken Griffey Jr., the most graded card of all time. Definitely seen some movement in that card recently as a lot of people are coming into the hobby. So we see crypto going up. We see this sort of excitement happening in the hobby again. We're seeing a lot of a lot of movement on cards like that. One of the very first Michael Jordan numbered refractors, actually the very first year of Jordan numbered refractors. This is the easiest of the 4 different serial numbered Jordans from 97. I think I'm saying this right, pretty sure. So 97, you only had the finest refractors that were serial numbered. Checking my mind, but I'm pretty sure that's right. There's no, like, there's other cards like Chrome and stuff like that, but finest had 4 serial numbered refractors. Gold and gold embossed, silver and silver embossed, all refractors. This is the easiest of them. It's not embossed. I say just the silver. There's only 1,090 of them. PSA 9 is a good, strong grade. Card's a great looking card in hand. I've owned this one. I love it. It's a great card. It's not nearly as costly as all the other versions. And it is, again, the very first year of serial numbered Jordan refractors. Pop 1 Klay Thompson, I would argue the best looking USA autograph set ever made. I've said that for a long time. Used to have a Steph from that set. Absolutely loved it. Shouldn't have sold it. Owns a PSA 10, which is a huge deal. Jaden Daniels, Mosaic 10. Skeens, PSA 10. Whole bunch of big Skeens cards. The Inception Wemby in a PSA 10. A base LeBron in a PSA 10. An early Paige Becker's PSA 9. The 2011 retro of LeBron, numbered out of 150. Penix and Daniels football inserts. LeBron SP Authentic autograph. Ron Holland gold prism. That's a great card. Only sitting at 535. See, this card's way more interesting than most of the cards we've gone through up here because Ron Holland was a very high pick. If I remember right, he was like number 5, number 6 last year. PSA 9 on his gold prism means that, look, we're talking about one of the main cards of Ron Holland. As we get further away from Ron Holland's rookie year, I'm going to tell you what will likely happen. People will likely look for the black prism, the nebula, the RPA, the Logoman RPAs out of NT, and maybe out of a couple of the other brands because they probably have some more of those. And then the very next ultra high-end card on the list that people will think of is this card. It's like arguably one of his best 20 cards in existence. The question is, how good will he be? And I don't have any idea to that. I do know the Pistons are pretty good this year. And so he might have an interesting spot going forward. I don't know. I'm not sure. I didn't follow closely enough to know, but big Amen Thompson here. Everybody knows the downtown rookies already at almost $3,000 in a PSA 10. I guess the pop on that's really low, but definitely check that out. Okay. So this is interesting. This Kobe Bryant, we're going to talk about that one here in a second. A LeBron PSA 10 mosaic. What is this? Micro mosaic. I don't know that set. The art insert cards we've seen just have this massive flocking to it over the course of the last couple of years. It's like first it was the Kabooms and the Downtowns, and Panini has just created all these different art type of cards. And it sort of seems that collectors are like, oh, it's an art card and it's a hard card to find. I'm going to love it. I just wonder if that's going to stick. It might just be that that's the whole era. This whole era's inserts were all about like artsy case hit type cards. Like this one. I'm guessing that's what this is. I don't know. I don't know if that'll stick or if it'll just be like that will be the symbol of the era. It might be the only thing that sticks. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. McDavid Young Guns, obviously the iconic hockey card over the course of the last 10 years. Ichiro SPA Future Watch is in PSA 9. Really nice Gehrig. I love. Give me a 1 MK any day. 1750. This is the 1934 Gaudy, the year after the more recognizable ones. Obviously a great looking card. Autograph Jeter rookie. Nice Steph autograph. I love, nice ant. But I love this Sean Kemp right here. I realize I'm going too slow. I got to kind of move a little bit on these guys. Going to move through these football cards a little bit more quickly. Cristiano Ronaldo. This is the Panini sticker. Not a lot of those out there. They've made a ton of them, but finding them in high grade is tough. And you can see they're pretty costly. Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, anytime you get those 3 on a card, they're going to do well. This is just a triple jersey. I say just a jersey, but look, it's number 25. Caitlin Clark. What is this? Oh, this is the Black Velocity. Big card. Really a big card here. This is the only black card that's not a 1/1 for Panini. And as we talked about at the top of the show, the 22 is the card that it seems that the hobby has really chosen. It's coalescing around being like the better card based on that one auction. I know that's a small sample, so can't just take that, but That's what it looks like to me. Big Time Steph 2020 Spectra Color Blast, $2,200. Graded a 9.5 on this competitive advantage. Really a beautiful Shea. If you've never seen one of these cracked ice prism cards in hand, just get one in hand. This one's a really interesting one because it's graded authentic and was recently graded, meaning this likely is like a lower copy card, right? This probably isn't an 8 or a 9 or a 10. It's probably lower than that. But if it was graded a 7, would it sell for a lot more than an authentic? It might. And that's the thing that you don't know. Take a really close look at this card, and if I can make a strong suggestion, take the number that's on the card, go enter it into PSA's website, blow up that image huge, and then ask, what is this card really? Because look, it's numbered out of 99. It's a gorgeous prism rookie of the MVP and very likely next NBA champion. Might be a great deal. All right. Man, there's so much stuff that's up with MC again this month. So many. Flair Showcase, PSA 10 for Jordan, PSA 10 on the Ultra Inside Out. Those are lower end inserts, but are made higher end because of how rare the populations are. This Barry Bonds is just beautiful. And you can say whatever you want about Barry Bonds, but don't tell me anything about his autograph being anything but perfect. It's one of the nicest autographs that's out there. The iconic Juan Soto, Bowman Chrome First Prospect Refractor. The Superfractor of this is the most, I've said it's the most infamous card in all of baseball cards because it was altered after graded by, or before being graded by PSA, and PSA didn't catch it. And then PSA later changed the case on it and stuff to make up for that. The Ovechkin Young Guns in a PSA 10, don't see that pop up every day. The LeBron Prism Black Gold, number 5. That's a big deal card, obviously. Jackson Merrill, 1 of 1. Mookie Betts, big Mookie Betts, out of 159.5. The Manute Bol autographed rookie. Ooh, that's a biggie. 5 on the MJ. Chris Bosh, PSA 9 on the Prism from 2012. We've seen this card pop up a couple times lately. I wonder if it's the same card. I'll bet you it is. 1 of 1 Kaká. What is this? Barry Sanders, Jim Brown duel. Oh, I love that. I got to come back and check that one out here in a little bit too. But man, I am out of time. I got to roll here. PSA 10 on the Barry. Amen Flawless Auto. Another Amen Flawless Auto. And a Charizard that's at $26,000. A Shohei Topps Now All-Star Rookie out of 25. Man, this auction just keeps going. Multiple big flawless RPAs. This Amen's definitely one of my favorites of the week, though. The game used patch auto, just huge. Okay, let's just hit each of these cards real quick. So we highlighted 2 that we wanted to check out. So this Rookie Rage, it says pink. I didn't know that it was pink. I didn't know there was a pink variation on this card. I didn't know that. I opened a ton of this stuff. I didn't know there was a pink version. So 1996 Collector's Edge gave us this non-NBA licensed product that had autographs and it had serial numbered inserts so far ahead of its time, as the non-NBA licensed stuff was really trying different things. Those different things ended up really becoming something that's really popular across, the other NBA licensed things and future sets. This is where we saw the first jersey cards, right? In 1996 Press Pass. We didn't see them till the next year in NBA license stuff, for example. But I don't know about this pink. I didn't know that was a thing. What I do see is that MC has said that this is a Pop 4. And the fact that it's a Kobe Rookie Year card and there's only 4 of them makes it kind of interesting. I would do some research on that. Figure out what the figure out how rare that is. Figure out if it's more conditional rarity or more like this is a rare card and it's a rare condition. But might be worth doing some research. I do really like it though. I think it's very cool. And where'd we go? And the Steph. So what I wanted to check on this one, we're gonna gem rate on this and see if gem rate has the data for this card. If we come in here and we click on Universal Card Search and we type in Curry, got to reach around my mic when I use my keyboard here. Curry, what's it called? Contenders. Just do Curry Contenders 2009. That'll probably get us there. 2009 contenders. It's going to be a big number, just so you guys know. Playoff contenders, Steph Curry autograph. So 400. It's less than I thought. So there's 429 of these. The reason that it's always stood out to me is that Contenders is a well-known brand, especially in football. And in basketball, at the very beginning of Panini's time, right after they bought Donruss, playoff Donruss, they were like, let's try to figure out what our key brands are going to be. Well, we know NT really stuck, right? And Contender stuck too. It's had a good run. It's just not viewed the same as it is in football. I just think they got this card. I'm not going to say the whole set. I'm not going to say the inserts. I'm not going to say anything else. I think they got this card right. That is a giant autograph for Steph. They just gave him a great big window. And especially, where Steph's, a lot of autographs are sort of shaped like this, right? They're longer. Steph's the very weird autograph that's like as high as it is wide. And so that signing area for Steph really allowed him to fill that thing. Like he filled that area in a way that's, I think, pretty cool. So, being an 8, you can look back here, 429 total have been graded. If you look down here at the 8s, the majority of the cards are higher graded than an 8. You can see a lot of them are 9s, 8.5s, and then there's even a bunch of 10s. I like that. I think it's underappreciated. It did not end up on this checklist. Nobody even suggested that I put that card on the checklist. It's interesting. Nobody. We had in all 27 people for basketball gave opinions on what they thought. I don't believe a single person mentioned that card, which is really surprising. Always thought that it would get more love than it has. All right, let's move on now to hoodies. Hoodies has, where'd we go? Oh, there we go. Hoodies has some huge items ending this week. Some absolutely huge items. Just look at the top row. You got 4 cards, five cards that are already over $5,000, and all of them have 3 days or more to go, I guess, except for this Anthony Edwards, which ends today. Jordan rookie in an 8, big Shohei Ohtani autographed from 2018. Another big Ohtani. This is the green. The Caleb Williams. Who is this? Caleb Williams dual black optic downtown. It's going to be a 1 of 1. A Cooper Flag autograph. A big Charizard shadowless. Curry autograph out of Immaculate. A 9. 9's a big grade on this card. 6 days to go on that. And then here's another one of these Amen Thompsons. This Amen Thompson is a huge card, guys. This is his gold flawless RPA. I want to look at that one a little bit closer. So we'll check that one out here in a second. Big time Acuna, the 2018 blue refractor. Pat Tillman on the optic. Mickey Mantle PSA 7 from the 1957 Topps series. So much good stuff up this week. The XRC on the LeBron iconic card there, obviously. The 2008 Topps Chrome. Really a nice. Oh, this is Steph for a second. Really nice Jordan Poole, flawless. Is that a rookie year? No, it's not a rookie year, but still a great card. And then a Magic Black Shimmer. Okay, let's look at this. Let's look at this card real quick. So 10 out of 10, and read the language on the back with me. The enclosed game-worn used material and autograph are guaranteed by Panini. So Amen Thompson was one of the players of the year, unquestionably to me. We came into this year thinking, he's a great athlete. We left this year thinking that guy might be a superstar. We didn't think that coming into this year. Honestly, we didn't think that going into the draft. We thought he was a great athlete. Top 0.1% type athlete. Like both he and his brother, but especially Amen, right? Like ultra elite athleticism. And the way that manifested itself this year is like he could have been defensive player of the year. Frankly, I think he probably should have been defensive player of the year. What he did on a night-to-night basis was at least more interesting defensively than anything else that we saw. And if you're going to give it to a big guy, I don't know why you give it to Jaren Jackson. I don't get that. Again, he's fine, but I don't think he was like, no. It was Mobley, right? I don't know why they give it to Mobley. Mobley and Jackson, I sort of think about in the same sort of way. Where it's like they did a lot of good, but like if you're going to pick I don't know. It feels like they always want to give it to a big guy because the big guy statistically makes the biggest difference. But neither of those guys really stand out as like ultra elite defenders. I don't know. I'm glad it was Mobley over Draymond. I'll say that. After Draymond did his campaigning, just drove me crazy. He was not the best defensive player this year by any stretch of the imagination. He's just insane. But it didn't work for him. He didn't get that vote. He was still all defensive team, which was right. But on men is like a menace defensively. Like the way he guarded Steph in the regular season made me think that Houston was going to win that series, and Houston didn't. They were lucky that Golden State was lucky that they had Steph for the whole series. He had his thumb injury, but he was able to play. And I mean, it was not an easy series for Golden State at all, but it was good for that young Rocket team to get their get their reps in. And I think the real question is, I don't think there's any chance they trade Amen. They might trade Şengün. They might trade Jalen Green. They might bring in Giannis. They might do all sorts of things. Amen Thompson's going to be a key part of that team going forward. I think he'll be the face of the team at some point. Maybe sooner rather than later. The only thing that would prevent that is if they bring in a guy like Giannis. 10 out of 10. It's really cool. It's a big card. I'm going to put this one maybe as one of my top 10 cards this week, or top 5 cards this week. I love it. Okay, let's hit Alt. Alt has 3 of the biggest items that they have ever sold, all ending this week. The LeBron RPA, the LeBron Gold Chrome, and the Caitlin Clark 1 of 1 on the card number 145. I love the notes that they include here. They've gotten really creative with their notes here at Alt. Nasty 3-color patch with a perfect blue auto. Talked about last week or maybe the week before that. This is Karn's old copy. I don't know if Karn sent this. Karn Rai, Big 3 hockey collector. I don't know if he sent it to Alt directly or if it was from somebody else. But when I interviewed Karn for BCF, I don't have it up there. It's right here, actually. When I interviewed Karn for BCF, my daughter wrote on the front of this. That's the one. So you can look at that card and then look down over there on the card that's actually up for auction. That's the same one, same patch, same everything. A BGS 9 on that is a huge grade. So this card has the right grade, the right patch, and the right autograph. It's got everything going for it. I think it's also cool that it was owned by Karn. I like Karn a lot. Okay, gold refractor of the LeBron. The question I think a lot of people have asked for years is, which of these 2 cards would you rather have? And right now, boy, that Exquisite's blowing away the Topps Chrome, right? For a long time when we didn't see any of the Chrome Golds moving, it was really a good question. Now it looks like it was an insane question. This card is the first base set RPA ever made. The set was made because LeBron was a rookie that year. It is iconic in every sense of the word. Where will it show up on here? That is a good question. That is a good question. Where will this one show up on there? Also a good question. But for me, the most interesting of the 3 cards that are up here, because it's a 1 of 1 and because there's been all the talk about it, is the card number 145 of Caitlin Clark. The gold vinyl 1 of 1 from the base set. Now, I am not a WNBA collector. I've never owned a women's basketball card before. Caitlin Clark's the first time I've ever thought about it. And I could talk about that for a while. But what I really want to focus on here and what I think is the most interesting story is this. Historically, for WNBA basketball cards, I have been told that the gold vinyl is the big chase. They don't make a true black in women's NBA basketball. They make a black finite. And the gold vinyl has been viewed as the best version of the card. Is that the case with so many NBA fans going over to collect WNBA stuff still? I'm not sure. Could it be the black finite's the better card? It could be. It might be. I don't know. As I've talked to people, they've said that this is the main version historically. Does that transfer to this year? I'm not sure. Alt says the card everyone has been talking about, the LeBron Tribute 1 of 1. I don't really think about it being LeBron Tribute, but other people do, and that's cool. I think about it being the question of whether it is this card or the card number 22. And I think about how big gold vinyl is for this card and the fact that it's a 1 of 1. And notice we haven't said anything about grade because it's just not important to me at all. I just realized I should have had the whole thing showing the whole time. Should be looking at the other screen. I'm sorry. I'm glad you guys put up with me. Thank you for putting up with me. Next time I'll do that. Sorry, guys. All right. Jordan Jersey Auto, one of the most autographed cards that he has out there. And the reason is, if you were to have pulled this card with the autograph straight on it, it's a 7-figure card. This one's not a 7-figure card, but it's still a really big card. The Tiger Woods SPA, the Anthony Edwards, so much stuff, so much good stuff this week at Alt. Autograph patch for Kobe. So much good stuff this week at Alt. Okay, let's look at Goldin. The Goldin Weekly, and then we'll hit the biggest part of this whole show. The Goldin Elite is this week. And that, if you have come here for anything, stay for that. And that's the biggest, most important auction happening this week by a mile. The Caitlin Clark signed a white sparkle. That's a big card. I've got to look at the Shea. The Shea 1/1 is really interesting. The Brunson, this is an insert out of Optic. The 1/1 Brunson insert out of Optic. The Shaq 24 karat gold, that's going to sell for a lot more than $800. I promise you that. Oh, do I promise you that? Laundry tag of Kobe from 2014. That's still a playing days card. That's very cool. Check out this patch on this Lewis Hamilton. Wow, what a card there. The electrifying MJ. 13 Yankee signatures all in one ball. All right, we're low on time today, so we're going to just fly on these. So here's what I got to check out on the Shea. I believe this is not game used. Oh, it was. Wow, this is why I wanted to look at it. So some of Origin's cards, guys, some of them are, oh, this is really interesting. This is so interesting. This card like deserves its own reel. Okay, so Shea Gilgeous-Alexander was a rookie in 2018 with the Clippers. When I saw this card pop up, I saw Clippers and I got excited because I was like, wow, it's an Origins logo man from when he was a Clipper. And Origins often on the back, you can see it right back here, they say the date the card was worn. The enclosed material was used during Gilgeous-Alexander's game on 10/21/2018 and is guaranteed by Panini America. Pretty cool. Why cool? Why so cool? Well, Shea was a rookie in 2018. On October 21st, 2018, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander did play with the Clippers, and he was a rookie. So when I saw that, I thought it was an early career card. I don't know what year Origins was made, but this card was made last season or this season that's just ended. This card is not an older card, but this jersey is an older jersey. Jersey's 7 years old, guys. 6.5 years old. That's very cool, right? It is a game-used rookie logo man on a non-rookie card. So what do you care about more? That the card is from the rookie year or that the jersey is from the rookie year? It is game used, and we know what game it was used in. And now, if you know me well, you know what I'm going to go do. What am I going to go do? What am I going to go look up right now? I want to go find out right now what happened on October 21st, 2018. October 21st, 2018, Clippers game. Let's go find out together. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander was a rookie at this point, obviously, as I've already said 2 or 3 times. And he was not a very important rookie at that point for the Clippers. You can see it was an early season game. Clippers were 2-1 at this point. I'll bet he didn't do anything. Let's find out. Let's find out. October 21st. Give me a box score. Clippers. Hey, Clay, he had a pretty good game. Shea had 12 points, 4 assists, and 5 boards. And they won. Ha! That's not a bad game for the rookie. It's actually a really good game for the rookie. I thought I was going to show you guys that he had a crappy game. So that worked out really well. Gosh, shouldn't have spent so much time on something that's just in their weekly because their elite auction is so big. But where Shea is, Shea just won the MVP. It's a very good chance he's about to go win the championship. It's a rookie logo man from a brand that people don't know as well. Sorry, I shouldn't say it's a rookie logo man. It's a rookie. The logo man patch is from his rookie year. It's really cool. Okay, I've spent enough time on that. It's also 1 of 1, obviously, because they only have one. There's only one jersey that they cut up for that game. Let's put it that way. All right. And I didn't mean to. Okay. And then there was this one. So this Shaq, I would just encourage you to take a great look at this card. I have owned a couple of these. A couple years ago, I bought a Dirk Nowitzki and had it for a couple years and had to sell it to pay for a really big card. But a lot of people tell you this is the nicest 90s gold set. And I think as far as parallels to the base set go, I think there's no question. That's true. All right. I'm going to put this Shea in my top 5 for the week, I think. Which is weird, again, because it's in the weekly, but I think I might do it. I love the Shaq. I'm probably not going to put it in the top 5 for the week, but I love it. I will tell you this Halliburton right here is definitely going in the top 5 for the week, which is going to give us 2 Halliburtons probably, but that's just the way that it is. This is his best card, right? It's his Black Prism rookie. I did a reel on this for Goldin. Go watch it if you haven't already. How the question that I asked was, what happens when the hottest player in the league has his best card sell for auction when he's having an all-timer playoff run? And I mean it. Like, the comebacks that they've had have been unprecedented. And you've heard the stats. Like, the 2 of the biggest comebacks, I think 3 of the biggest comebacks that have happened in NBA playoff history have happened with this Pacers team led by Tyrese Halliburton. He's amazing. He's humble. The choke sign, I mean, the shot that bounces 100 feet in the air off the rim and falls through, it was actually a 2 when he thought it was a 3, and then he still comes back and wins. Like, he's one of the most interesting players in the NBA right now. I'm so jealous of Indiana that they got him. I still am blown away at the Sacramento Kings, and they're just amazing. Rookie dual autograph right here of Wemby and Osar Thompson. Great duo there. Triple, I mean, we just saw the triple sell from, the big 3 of LeBron, Wemby, and Jokic. This time we've got a card from 2023, same set as that one. This one's 3 of the best players from the 2018 draft. Trey, Luka, and Shea. 3 first name guys. 43 grand on that one right now. Of all of those, without question, the Halliburton is my favorite. And I love Logo Man, but I love the Halliburton. What would you rather have? Answer in the chat if you're listening to this. And as always, go like and subscribe and do all that stuff if you haven't done that yet. And seriously, do that. It makes a huge difference for me. The Ty Halliburton Black or the triple Logo Man that has, or it doesn't, sorry. The Ty Halliburton Black Prism rookie or the triple Logo Man out of Flawless from 2023. Which one do you prefer? I would take that black all day long. And I love Logo Man cards. I love that Logo Man card. But that Ty Halliburton, guys, that's the belle of the ball here. It is. I have no idea what it's going to do. But we don't see key black rookies sell very often. That is one of them, of the whole flipping era. How many Black Prism rookies would you rather have than that have ever been made? Like Giannis, Jokic, Shea, Tatum, maybe Donovan Mitchell, maybe Donovan Mitchell. I'll get 4.5. Anthony Edwards, maybe. Like these guys are all maybes. And maybe not Donovan. He's already gone to the conference finals. Donovan never went. He just beat Donovan. He's younger than Donovan. Like, it's one of the 5 or 6 best Black Prism rookies made in the whole era. It's not just his best card. It's one of the best Black Prism rookies made. And Black Prism rookies are like, they just never sell. I'm shocked to see it at auction right now. And I know guys keep cards for moments like this. I know people hold on to cards so that they can sell them when a player's hot. I get it. I would not sell that card right now. And you might say, but they're not going to go win the championship. Heck, they probably will still lose to the Knicks. That might be true. It's just, that's why you collect cards, is to get a card like that. Like, that's the Tyrese Halliburton card, guys. All right, I'm going to stop talking about it. It's certainly one of my 5 favorite cards of the week, though. Huge Bo Nix is the Black Finite. The Nebula of Caleb Williams. Be interesting to see which of those two does better. The Caitlin Clark White Sparkle, numbered 1/1 in her WNBA jersey. Ant RPA, numbered out of 99, BGS 95. The LeBron MJ Duel from 2003, exquisite. An autograph Jordan rookie. Let's look at the autograph on that here in just a sec. Really nice Mantle rookie and a 6, 5.5 on the Mantle 52, 3 on the Mantle 52. Boy, some real big vintage stuff, which is interesting because Goldin has a vintage exclusive auction. It's going to be in here in a sec, or that's going to be starting here in a sec. PSA 7 on the Pele. Oh, it's an MC, but still very cool. Why is it an MC? I haven't seen an MC on that card. We're going to take a look at that one too. PSA 4. Ooh, we'll sell for more. The PSA 7 MC or the PSA 4. Huh. That'll be fun to watch. Right now, 4 is behind the 7. People do not like qualifiers. That'll be fun to watch. PSA or BGS 10 on the Kobe. We talked about this before. Talked about this a lot on the Kobe Bryant. The Kobe Chrome Refractor rookies are so interesting because there's obviously lots of different variables, but there's 2 main variables. One variable is grade. That's what a lot of people care about, is the grade. Then there's a lot of people who care about greening, whether it's greening and how much greening there is. Those are the 2 variables. The best cards have both. And then some people just care about grade and some people just care about greening. I know I had a friend recently moved a really clear Kobe rookie, and it sold for about 2x what the card normally sells for in that grade. Gives you an idea of how much the color really matters. It was really a clear card, sold for about 2 times what it would have sold for in an average greening state. So what you really want is both. You want the grade and you want the color. That's the thing. But unfortunately, a lot of these cards have been graded and then turned green. And that's created a situation where people lack understanding because they'll say, well, Beckett graded this card and it's green, so it's a 10, right? No. Most of the time what's happened is the card was graded and then it turned green. And unfortunately, because that happens, it leads to sort of confusion amongst hobbyists. But look at all the biggest sales and you're going to see it's a really clear card with a really high grade. But clarity is really important there. And some people don't think that that's the case, but it is. All right. Tom Brady from his own collection, number to 35. Very cool. Dual autograph out of the, what is this? The Upper Deck Black. We've seen a few of these sell over the years. It's a beautiful card in hand. I've seen that card in hand. It is gorgeous. Speaking of Donovan Mitchell a couple minutes ago, this is his White Sparkle 1/1 autograph. It's a huge card. Seen that card sell a couple of times through the years, but it's been a while since I've seen it. I love this SGA. I've said this. I've gone on record. I've told everybody and their brother this. I know that the first off the line only comes out of first off the line, and so some people think it's less cool than the RPA. Hold that one in hand is the same time as you hold a normal RPA in hand and tell me which one's nicer. It is not even close. It's not even close. The first off the line, or what some people call the limited version. What do they call it here? Yeah, limited edition. It's just a million times nicer. I would prefer this card straight up against a normal NTRPA. Straight up. And I think the community is crazy. Just because aesthetically, it's like way nicer. It's not a little bit nicer. It's like another world nicer. How are we doing on time? I gotta rush, guys. We're not going to get through even a fraction of the Elite. The Elite is amazing. So a couple of really big boxes. 2003 exquisite, 2004 exquisite case. Really a nice Jordan here. What is this? Is it a buyback? This isn't a buyback in this case. This one is actually an ultra. So if you look at the pop report on this, you're going to see 1 or 2 of these cards have ever been signed. Remember, there's a few more of them that exist as buybacks. 8.5 on the Jordan Star. a PSA 10 on the Thrill Seekers, an autographed copy of the Force SPX Force autograph numbered out of 100. I want to look at that one real quick because I think we'll talk about that one in a second. PMG Champ of the Duncan, obviously a huge piece. BGS 9.5 on the Jordan Jambalaya. I haven't seen one of these sell for a while in that grade. I'm very interested to see what that one sells for. The Essential Credentials Kobe Bryant now. A lot of great 90s stuff. I love how I do really like how Goldin does this, how they put like things together. Look at that. You get to the 90s here, and it is just straight 90s basketball for a bit. Really gives you a good spot to like sit and analyze. Also, they did a fantastic job on the image of this Iverson right here. This is a set that has known issues. Whenever you're bidding on a card like that, you want to get verification that the card is good and legit. But boy, that is a beautiful card. 90, sorry, that was 97. I think I said 98. I meant 97. And then two huge cards from 98. One that I did a reel on, the Kobe, and then the Dennis Rodman with the Michael Jordan Shadow card. One of the best Dennis Rodman cards of all time, for sure. PMG from 98, Dennis Rodman, the gold. The Playmakers Theater, Kobe Bryant, one of his best insert cards, just in general. The Kobe MJ dual jersey auto out of SPX. Oh, what is this? What does this inscription say? That's a long inscription here for LeBron. We're going to take a good close look at that one. Bunch of multi-autographs they're selling. Gosh, they put those all together too. Goldin does a really good job of organizing like that. That is cool. I'm glad they did that. Okay, and we have 3 cards to look at individually that we'll come back to. This Kobe Bryant, I've said this a lot, so I feel weird repeating it, but I want to make sure you guys know this Kobe Bryant right here is a card where he only has 2 number pieces before this, and the 2 number pieces that come before this are both numbered out of 8, and they're both like well into the 6 figures. So this is the first number pieces of Kobe Bryant that's like somewhat manageable from a financial perspective. It is an elite card. It is a beautiful card in hand. The holofoil on this one really stands out. It's actually the first card I ever made an in-hand reel for back in the day when I was working full-time for PWCC. And when I saw it, I was like, wow. It just really stands out. It has some emboss on it. It's a little bit different than any of the other years of Exquisite. But I love the holofoil around the window. I love the autograph. I love that it's the first year that he's wearing number 24. For purposes of the number pieces. I don't remember if he started wearing 24 in 05 or 06. So if you want to be able to say this is the first year he wore 24, double check that. It's just not a crazy valuable card either, because people just don't look at 06 the same way that they do the year before those, or the way they do the year before that. But I think that provides an opportunity. 2 of the best limited logos from the 07 year. Just you can see as soon as you look at that design, if you know 07, that is 07. There's no holofoil on the card, which I personally am not a fan of, but I do think that they made some of the nicer patches this year, and I do think that the design really stands out amongst them because it just feels different. All right. Cool duel here, obviously. This one and this one, I believe, are both stickers. Give that a good look. The 09 autograph patch of Jordan. I love this 2013 right here. The 2013 flawless jumbo patch auto of Kobe. This is the green version. The story here is this is the first time Kobe got a jumbo patch auto out of flawless. So not only is it the green version, it's the first time that flawless had one of those for Kobe. Really a great patch on this noble nameplates, Exquisite LeBron. But the story here is this is from 2009. This is the last year that they did Exquisite. And so what they did for this card is they said, hey, we don't have the normal amount. We don't have 25 that we can make, but we're going to make 18 of these. And so they made 18. It's more limited than the other years. It's the most limited of the noble nameplates years. So when you see 18, you might be like, I don't like that. That's random. No, remember, that's the rarest year. Would you rather have it be out of 20, out of 18 or out of 25? 18. It's a lot less, guys. The difference between 18 and 25, 7, it's like, it's not that much. It's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. Then, card that's near and dear to my heart. There's only 3 of these in the world. This is number 2 of 3, and I own number 3 of 3. It's the first year that Noir was a product. They made these tag autographs. Every time I post this, a person or two will say the Hoopin' in the Clouds with Kobe card. If you take a close look at this card, in fact, we'll pull it up there. We'll come back to Hooping in the Clouds with Kobe here in a second. Really a beautiful logo auto of Dirk. Is that it's not playing days, is it? I think he just retired the year, 2 years before this. Kobe Bryant autograph patch out of Flawless. Topps Dynasty, Bobby Witt Jr., one of the biggest names in baseball. The Shield or Logo Man, however you want to call it for baseball, autograph, 1 of 1. Huge piece. And then similarly, a huge piece for Aaron Judge. Some game-worn stuff and some bigger items. I'm going to do one more page here for the Elite. I got to run, though, guys. I got so much stuff to do today. Lots of stuff going on in the Gray Home. I texted my friend Jeremy Lee a copy of this card. He just bought one of these. It's one of the most iconic vintage baseball cards. This is the 1914, important to say, 1914 Joe Jackson Cracker Jack. And I said, Jeremy just bought one of these for like 150 or 180 grand. I can't remember. It's like, Jeremy, your card, man, there's a nicer copy up right now at Goldin. He was like, what? And he looked at it and he laughed at me. This one, unfortunately, as you can see it from a mile away, is not mint. A huge chunk of the card is missing. There's no secrets there. It's not mint. It is not what you want it to be. It might be the worst copy of this card in existence, or at least close to it. But what it is, it's a 1914 Cracker Jack Joe Jackson. And it might be the best chance you ever had to get one. So we'll come back to that one and look at that one as well. Let's see, is there one more card? I just want to... Man, now we're getting to the good 90s and Kobe stuff. I can't stop there. I love this buyback, man. I love this card. I pulled one of these as a kid, not the red, but the gold version, or silver and gold. I forget what it's called. This is the autographed buyback version, though, which is just lovely. A couple of big rubies of Rice and Barry. A Kobe that is just hiding right here. The 2001 Ultimate Gold autograph. One of my favorite cards in the whole auction, honestly. And in fact, I might go ahead and throw that in the top 5 for me this week. The reason why is it's that number to 8 card that people don't know about. You know, they don't know. Like, oh, when they see it. I remember opening 01 Ultimate Collection. It's the second year of Ultimate Collection. The first year, the autographs, there are different variations. You don't really see it from the front. You've got to like look at the serial number. But in 01, the card's gold. You see it. And you got one of these autographs, probably like 2 of these autographs per box, 1 or 2 of them per box. Like this type of this insert, the ultimate signatures. I think I pulled a Jason Richardson in a pack war and ended up trading it to somebody else in that pack war for another card. I opened 1 pack of this stuff. In the pack war that I got a huge Eddie Griffin, an Eddie Griffin patch numbered to 10, and it was a huge card. It sold for like $150. And I also got an Eddie Curry rookie. These were the first this was the first parallel RPA. They made RPAs of 6 players in the set in 01 Ultimate. I thought it would be one of the biggest products of all time. Remember, I was 18 years old when this came out. And I really thought it was going to be one of the biggest products of all time, but it had one massive, massive problem with it. Well, probably had more than one problem, but one massive problem. And that was that this product had the rookie class from 2001. And gosh, it was a bad rookie class. I mean, so bad. Terrible bad. We're talking about Kwame Brown, Tyson Chandler, Pau Gasol, Eddie Curry, Zagana Diop. Right? You had Jason Richardson in there. He was decent. You had Shane Batty in there. He was decent. Pau Gasol, obviously, at 3 was really good. But like the rest of those guys, Rodney White, R.I.P. Rodney White, like it was just not a good rookie class for these guys. It was really, really a bad one. Joe Johnson, I think, was 10th. Later in the rookie class, but from an earlier draft class, was Andre Kirilenko. Richard Jefferson, I think, was 13th. He was solid. And then you got to the end of the second or end of the first round, or in the beginning of the second round, and you had at the end of the first, you had Tony Parker. Then you had Gilbert Arenas. Some of the best players in that draft came out at the beginning or at the end of the first and the beginning of the second, but none of the young guys panned out. But for Kobe, like, you know, you always ask the question, like, which Kobe autographs really matter? I'm not sure how much this card matters. It's not exquisite, but gosh, it is It's the next level, and it's out of 8. It is out of 8 from a key, like really key set at the time, impossible pull, right when Kobe was becoming Kobe. I love that card. I will be watching that card as it ends later this week. Big Brady, big LeBron. You already know about both those. Ooh, another one of my favorite cards of the week. The Derek Jeter 2005 Topps Chrome Gold Superfractor. It says Gold Superfractor. Does that mean that there's other versions of the Superfractor? I am not sure. I am sure that I want to know that. Can I pull it up on my computer? So here's what you want to do on this one. I don't have time for this, but what you should do for this card, what I would strongly suggest doing for this card. Heck, I'm all over the place now. On the other screen, you guys can't see what I'm doing. What I would strongly recommend doing for this card is, shoot, I'm going to do it. I can't not do it. Sorry, guys. 1 second. So I'm going to go to Beckett.com and I'm going to sign in. And the reason that I can't do this on my screen is that I can't have you guys seeing my username and login. So I could put it off the side, but I just don't want to risk that. So when I log into Beckett and I type in Jeter Superfractor, my dog's barking. Sorry about that. Type in Jeter Superfractor. The very first ones are from 2005. This is a big card, guys. Oh, this card's so big. This is a huge card. So, 2005 Bowman Chrome Superfractor Derek Jeter. 2005 Finest Superfractor Derek Jeter. 2005 Topps Chrome Gold Superfractor Derek Jeter. This card, some people might look at this card and say, oh, it's gold. That means there's other Superfractors that year. I don't need to think about it if there's more than one. And in general, when there's a name ahead of the Superfractor, that means usually that there's more than one of a card. There's more than one Superfractor. There's only one 2005 Topps Chrome Derek Jeter Superfractor. There's no white. There's no normal. There's just the gold Superfractor. There's just 3 Superfractors from 2005, the very first year of baseball Superfractors. The Finest, the Bowman Chrome, and the Topps Chrome. So the question that you have to ask is, would you like to have the Bowman Chrome, the Finest, or the Topps Chrome? And boy, that's a great image. Derek Jeter's one of the most collected people of the whole era, and it is his first Chrome Superfractor. I'm very excited to see how this card does. I don't have any clue. It could be done right now, or it could sell for 10 times what it's going to sell. What is that right now? I really have no idea. But those are my favorite cards to watch at auction because I don't know how people think about the 05 Chrome set. I don't know. It's a PSA 10 too. Interesting stuff, guys. Sorry about that. Whoop. Interesting stuff. All right. It's just insane. So that is one of the biggest cards out there for sure. We got to keep going. We got to keep moving. Kobe's Eminence Gold Patch Auto. I've got to give this a shout out. This is another card I will be watching. Number 3 out of 5. He only has 1 original Eminence Patch Auto. There's 1 to 10, 1 to 5, and 1 to 1. Adam Rips has number 1 of 1. I tried to get it from him for a long time. He would never trade it to me. And then there's this 1 out of 5, and then there's 1 out of 10, and that's it. And that card will also probably make my top 5 this week. I'm getting too many cards. Yes, the Jeter will definitely go in my top 5. You guys definitely know that. This one, the Kobe, Whoop. Come on. Probably be a top 5 as well. I gotta see the autograph on this Jordan. I like that it hits the non-playing areas, so you can see it a little bit. It sort of draws your eyes to it. As I always say on this card, this is a really hard card on the front to have it really show up. People mocked the ones that were signed in really bold markers. The good thing about those, you see the autograph right off. On here, you see the autograph because it hits the nameplate. It's a great piece. I want to see why this Pele is showing up as miscut, and it's that reason down there. See, these things down here are cut off. That's why it's called a miscut. On this Jordan, you can see the autograph across the different surfaces. Looks really good, actually. But on the back, you can see it says it was autographed by Michael Jordan. This personally autographed by Michael Jordan. That's important because on a lot of the SPX cards, you don't get that. I like to see that printed on there. The LeBron says Naismith Award winner. It's very cool. And this Kobe that I was telling you guys about, called the Hoopin' in the Clouds with Kobe. It's not called that. It's what I've had people say whenever I've posted mine. This one's nicer than mine. Mine's only an 8.5. These edges and corners are rough. Like they're really hard they're rough. Not this copy. The card is a really rough card to have like really look nice. Like I said, this one looks nicer than mine. From the laundry jersey, or from the laundry tag, the logo man, the nice autograph right there, and Kobe with sort of the clouds or the steam around him, whatever you want to call that. The Joe Jackson that I said is nicer than Jeremy's, just to be a jerk. I love that you can see the staining throughout. Obviously, you would love it if the whole of the card was there. That is going to massively hurt it, but again, provide a chance for somebody to get the card who normally wouldn't have it. Might put that one over here too. I just really like that it's so different. And all right, we're going to call it there for Goldin. Now let's look at Fanatics Collect, and we're going to hit the auction right here. And we're going to look first at the cards that are shown off at the top. And then we'll sort by highest listed and check out maybe a page of those as well. So in the auction, usually when you do this, why is that? Usually when you do that, you get the featured auctions right at the top, but they're not there this week. Or maybe they are. Maybe these aren't the featured auctions. Maybe they are. Maybe they are. CGC Authentic. No, these aren't the featured auctions. Am I on the wrong page or something? Well, I don't know what's going on there. I think there's a couple cards that are defaulting to the top that shouldn't, though. This Shaq is a huge card, numbered out of 61. And this Grant Hill is a huge card. And this Michael Jordan is a huge card, even though this is not numbered and it's not die cut. And I'm not sure it's embossed. That's a huge card. Huge McGregor. Huge black refractor on the Jordan autograph. Yeah, something happened here where they left a few cards here at the top that they probably shouldn't have. But then you get into the obviously featured stuff. The big man on court, the Kobe is a PSA 10. The Netrageous MJ is a big card. Ooh, a green alert. The Stackhouse green. BGS 9 on the Shaq there. One of the nicest parallels of all time. Right here, the Shaq Row Zero Legacy. A big Griffey. 25 out of 25. That's a huge card. LeBron SPA autograph. That's a big card. A lot of big stuff. All right. A lot of big stuff at Fanatics this week in the featured listings. Now let's come back up to the top now that we've gone through the features, and instead let's sort now by highest first. And the great thing about doing this on Monday is you're just going to see the cards that are for this week, right? If you get later in the week, then you'll see 2 weeks worth of auctions, but these are all ending Sunday. Start out with a Mantle rookie in a 5. It's a big card, guys. Take a look at that one here at the Caitlin Clark, the number 145 in a PSA 10, the black gold version. Another huge piece. where we just saw 2 golds to 10 move. This one's rarer. This one's a PSA 10, but it's not as well known as the gold. The gold is sort of thought of as like the parallel, even though the black gold's rarer. But this one's a PSA 10. So what would you rather have? The black gold in a PSA 10 or the PSA 8 that just moved last week of the gold? I think that's a tough question, actually. PSA 10 on the Shea Cracked Ice out of 25. This card in hand is just unreal. Beautiful card in hand. Gold SGA Contenders. Future Watch Ovechkin. BGS 9 Jordan. Ooh, the Mojo of SGA and a PSA 10. That's a big card. 1 of 8. Wow, there's only 8 of those. I'm surprised. I thought that would be a bigger number. One thing that we discovered a couple weeks ago, Victor Wembanyama in Flawless is game used. That's a big deal. And to me, what will definitely be one of the cards of the week, the 1998 Upper Deck MJX autograph. This is a card you just do not see sell very often. You do not. MJX was its own set. The autograph was impossible. Probably make some content on that card this week. Then you've got the Master Collection. So here are 2 Jordan autographs, right? One's from 98, one's from 99, really close. I think aesthetically it's pretty easy to take the 99 over the 98 on this one. But I will tell you from my vantage point, I like this card a lot better. I like it, even though aesthetically it might not be as nice as this card is. I like it because it came from its own product. The MJ Master Collection was really cool, but like the whole thing was MJ and you got autographs in every box. Finding this card was impossible. This was just a matter of spending a ton of money on a box. That doesn't take anything away from it, especially 26 years later. It's a huge card. I'm just saying I prefer this one a lot. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, 1 of 1. Is this the black box or something? Yeah, or the white box. Sorry, this is the white box thing that Panini does at the National. That's why it's got a 1 of 1 sticker on the back. Babe Ruth, 1932 U.S. Caramel, one of his only colorized cards made during his career. It's a huge card. Roberto Clemente, 5, $3,300. Early Tiger autograph from 2002. That's the year after his rookie cards. The Wayne Gretzky, Connor McDavid duel out of SP Authentic. That's a big piece. Yes, and that's like just the tip of the iceberg. Let's do one more page for Fanatics Collect. One more page. Do we have time? Yeah, we got time. We got to be quick though. A rare Caitlin. This one's that 1 out of 25. The green Pulsar autograph. Future Watch of McDavid. I've talked about this. This is the gold version of Wembanyama. What would you rather have for Wemby? A gold rookie or a gold patch? Interesting question. This is the parallel of the base card. In general, that's what people want, but he has so few patches that are game used. What would I rather have? That's a tough question. I have no idea. I'd have to think really hard about that. Kobe from his 2017 Eminence set. The Don Mattingly Donruss, one of the most iconic cards from the 80s in a PSA 10. The Steph Exquisite RPA. I love this Lou Alcindor, though. I love it. You don't see a lot of these. Check the pop report on it. This one's pop 1 of 11, only 7 graded higher. And why is it important? Because it was made a year before his main rookie. A lot of people consider this an XRC. I consider this an XRC. Jordan Luminescent. That's the second layer or level of the triumvirates. Anthony Edwards Mosaic. So much good stuff, guys. And finally, actually, we wanted to look at this mantle. This mantle's really nice, guys. Really nice. Top section up here in the middle. It's going to pull up here in a sec. The top section is a little bit darker. Some people would call it discoloration. And the rest of the card is maybe a little bit down here too, but you can see like from here to here how this part's darker and has some different stuff going on. And if we look at the back, I wonder if we can see why it doesn't look like it. Discolor like a little bit, but like this is a really nice copy, and the fact that it's got the old PWCC top 15% eye appeal sticker just doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Not in the slightest. For 5, this is really nice. I owned 4.5 of these once upon a time. It was not this nice. And mine was a really nice card. Little spot down here. It's just a beautiful card. Beautiful, beautiful card. Absolutely love it. All right. Now let's go to Card Hobby. Card Hobby, we're just going to look at the biggest items ending this week. The very first 3 items are all young guys that are still left in the playoffs. SGA's huge, probably, I think that's out of 10. Immaculate. Or is it the 1 of 1? Oh, we got to look at that. I think that might be the 1 of 1, guys. It is. So SGA's Immaculate Jumbo Patch Acetate Autograph 1 of 1 rookie card. Not game used. Immaculate rookies never are. At least as far as I know. The enclosed player worn. Except for maybe for Wemby. Wemby's, ironically, I think is game used. But his isn't autographed. Yeah, that's a huge piece. A Logo Man from 2022 National Treasures. The Anthony Edwards NT, looks like a Logo Man tag. Big gold kaboom here from Ant 2024. You do not see jumbo patch autos out of Immaculate very often for Kobe. So that's a huge piece. And this Duncan really stands out to me. We're going to talk about that one in a second, why that Duncan stands out so much. All right. I get to the point where I start getting fatigued with doing it. I'm like, if I'm getting fatigued, I guarantee these guys are getting fatigued too. And I don't ever want to bore you guys. What is that patch on that Giannis? Let's look at that one too. See if we can see it any better. Take a look at 2 of these cards. Yeah, look at that. What is that? Is that from the Harley Davidson? Is that what it is? That's cool. That's a cool patch on that Giannis. A lot of ad patches are not cool. That one is very cool. But I wanted to talk about this Duncan. It's not signed, obviously, but I just love this Timmy. I love it because it's got the 5X tag. I do. I love that. I think that's so cool because he was there for all 5 championships. Those of you who know my collection know I own a Dwayne Wade, also from Flawless. It has a championship tag that looks like this. Mine says 3X, and I love it because Wade was a part of all 3 of those championships. These tags represent how many championships the team has won historically. So for Timmy, he's won 5, and the Spurs have won 5. For Wade, he's won 3, and the Spurs and the Heat have won 3. For LeBron with Cleveland, he's won 1. Cleveland's won 1. But if you get I don't know, if you get a card of Derrick Rose, actually he's probably a bad example because he probably wasn't on the team. If you had a card from this last year from Josh Giddey when he was with the Bulls, it'll say 6X on it. And it's like, well, that's cool because the Bulls won 6 championships, but Josh Giddey had nothing to do with it. It just doesn't appeal to me. They had to do something with it because it's on the jersey, and so I don't mind them putting it on a card, but I'm just like, okay, whatever. But when the player in that championship is connected, means so much more. I want the player to at least have been part of it, or the player to have changed it, or something. It's got to have that cool story. There is no story better than Tim Duncan. He was there for all 5 of them. And he built that team. And people will say, well, he was so lucky to have Greg Popovich as a coach, or he was so lucky to play with Ginobili and Parker. But it's just a cop-out. Tim Duncan's one of the best players of all time and so criminally underrated. I still think Tim Duncan's probably a top 5 player of all time, and you can't put him past 6, in my opinion. But he didn't have the stats, or he didn't do this, or he didn't do that. He was so good on both ends of the court. He was I think other than Jordan and maybe LeBron, he's the best player I've ever seen. And people were like, don't you have Kobe ahead of him? Because I love Kobe. I don't have Kobe ahead of Duncan. I think Duncan's one of the best players of all time. I think Kobe's 6 or 6 through 8, and Duncan's 5 or 6. But you put them head to head, and I take Duncan over him because I think his resume is better than Kobe's is. Kobe's more interesting. Kobe's more popular. I liked watching Kobe more. But if your goal is to win a championship, Tim Duncan, other than Michael Jordan, is the best player I've ever seen. Yes, he's better than LeBron in that way, for sure. So, all right, that's Card Hobby. Do I want to put that one in the top 5? I might. Okay, let's go do our top 5. Let's see what we think. Tyrese Halliburton Black. These are our options. Halliburton Black, the Joe Jackson with a bite taken out of it, the Derek Jeter Superfractor, the Duncan, the Kobe Eminence, the Kobe out of 8, the Amen Thompson, the SGA logo man. Gosh, these are really good options. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I gotta cut out 3 of these. Dang it. I'm not going to cut out the Halliburton, I'll tell you that right now. And I'm not going to cut out the Joe Jackson, and I'm not going to cut out the Jeter. This is going to be a lot of golden stuff this week, guys. Sorry, but it's true. I want to put the Dunk in there, but I can't do it. Which of these Kobe's do I like more? The out of 8 or the Eminence? Probably the out of 8. I like them both a lot. The Amen Thompson. Amen's not going to make it either. This is going to be an all gold. It's going to be an all golden top 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there's 5 cards here. Number 5 on the list will be the SGA rookie logoman patch, not from the rookie year. Number 4 will be the Kobe. Number 4 is going to be the Joe Jackson. I love the story. I love the story of what the card is. I love that it's got a bite taken out of it, but it doesn't beat this Kobe numbered out of 8. From 2000 Ultimate, they did not have jersey number autographs. They did in 2001, so it's the first year that they did that. This is going to sell for too much, but it's a card that I am interested in bidding on. And then number 2, between these two, number 2 is going to be the Jeter. There are 3 one-of-one superfractors made of Derek Jeter. In 2005, they were the first ever made. This is one of them. And I cannot believe that it is up. There's not a white superfractor. There's not other colors. There's not a regular superfractor. There's only one gold one. They made a Bowman Chrome, a Topps Chrome, and a Finest. That's why there's 3 from the first year. I think it's one of the best Jeter cards I've ever seen. I think it's beautiful. I love that card. And I think it's going to be a really fun one to watch this week. And then my favorite card of the week is the Halliburton Black that I already made a reel on that I love. I think it's a fantastic piece. And I think it's really especially interesting given all that he's accomplishing right now. All right, guys, if you I'm sure you saw it because it's YouTube, it's not all live, but if you didn't, go back and check out what I said about the survey, the 25 and 25 survey and the 25 and 25 countdown. Thank you for watching. If you didn't like, subscribe, and do all that stuff, please do all that stuff. Appreciate all the love. I always get DMs from you guys. They're like, hey, you did a good job on this or that. Please just put those comments straight into the chat. Like I will answer everything in the chat or in the comments below. Please do that. I love all the love and glad to see the numbers growing and all that sort of stuff. So thank you guys for all that you're doing. I hope you guys have a great Memorial Day, a great weekend, or a great week, I should say. And until next time, happy collecting.